Welcome back to Mom's Timeout podcast. I'm your host, Heather, a mom of three, a former teacher turned wellness advocate, and proudly known as the honest mom friend of the group. This podcast represents mom life means what the fuck is happening in the world. We are tackling the mental load, self care, and current events impacting moms, minus the fear mongering. We're doing real talk, real solutions, and a lot of the times, sarcasm. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my social platforms to stay up to date on all the happenings of Mom Time Out podcasts. Let's get this thing started. All right, if this is your first time tuning in, welcome. And if you've been here before, welcome back to the wild ride. Before we dive in, let's cover a few fun facts about this podcast. Because if you're new here, there are some things that you should probably know. Like, number one, this is not your average mom life podcast. I don't sugarcoat. I don't do toxic positivity, and I sure as hell don't tell you to just be intentional. We keep it real. Number two, we talk about the hard stuff, motherhood, the mental load, the burnout, self-care that actually fucking makes sense, not just bubble baths and journaling prompts. And oftentimes we talk about the world on fire and how we're supposed to function in it. Number three, you may laugh, you might cry, but you will always feel seen. This is a judgment-free zone where we say the things most moms are thinking about, but don't always feel safe to say out loud. Number four, we are all about taking action. This is not just a vent session. Every episode leaves you with something you can actually do, whether that's a mindset shift, a new habit, or a small but mighty step toward change. Coming up on this episode, we are getting real about the emotional roller coaster of living through this moment in history while still trying to be present for our kids. Yeah, we're talking about how to navigate the mental load, avoid falling into a pit of hopelessness, and somehow holding on to hope when everything feels so fucking overwhelming. Let's be honest, we have been running on fumes for a while now. It's like every time we start to get a handle on one crisis, another one slams into us. And as moms, we don't even get a second to process before we're expected to just keep moving. We have to make sure the kids get to school, make sure dinner gets made, make sure we don't fall apart in the middle of a store when we see yet another breaking news headlines on our phone. And I know that some people will say, just don't pay attention. Just focus on your family and protect your peace. And listen, I get the intention behind that advice, but I also know that ignorance is not an option. We don't have the luxury of looking away when these issues directly impact our lives, our kids' futures, and our ability to survive in this economy, in this political climate, in this fucking dumpster fire of chaos. And the worst part, we are holding all of this, carrying it day after day while still trying to show up like everything is fine. And here's the thing, even if some of these issues aren't directly impacting us yet, that in itself is a privilege. If we're not worried about losing access to medication or struggling to put food on the table or wondering if our rights will disappear next, then we have an opportunity to use our voice for those who are struggling. Because if we wait until it's our turn to be affected, it's already too late. And I don't want to be the person who looks back and wishes that I had spoken up sooner. But it's not fine. And I think we need to stop pretending that it is. I was going to talk about something completely different this week, but then I sat down to plan and I just couldn't. I wasn't feeling it. Because how do we keep going like everything is normal when it's literally on fire? Our world is in a dumpster fire and we're still expected to show up, work, raise our kids, make dinner, and pretend it's all fine. And I know I'm not the only one feeling this because I've posted videos on my social media platforms, processing my feelings and sharing these same emotions. And other moms are pouring into my comments saying similar things, that they also feel helpless. They feel like they're stuck in this functional freeze. They are not sure what to do next. And also saying that they're terrified about food security, about losing access to medicine, and their feelings are completely valid. The fear, the frustration, the exhaustion, it all comes in these waves, and some days it feels like we're drowning in it. So that's what we're doing today. We are processing this out loud together. Not in a way that's all doom and gloom, because that's not going to help anyone, but in a way that says, yes, this is fucking hard. Yes, this is fucking scary, but we are not powerless. So if you're feeling like you're barely holding it together, I see you. Let's talk about it. You know that feeling when you're having a normal moment? Maybe you're folding laundry, maybe you're driving your kid to school, maybe you're drinking your coffee, and then bam, a news headline slaps you in the face. And suddenly, that mental load that's already full to the brim just spills completely over. Yeah, that feeling. And the worst part, we're carrying this emotional roller coaster while still having to function like everything is fine. You ever just sit there thinking, how am I supposed to do bedtime, pack lunches, and be emotionally available for my kids when my own emotions feel like a dumpster fire? Because same. So let's just say it out loud. This is not fucking normal. Feeling exhausted, feeling anxious, and overwhelmed all at once is not weakness. It is a completely fucking normal response to a really fucked up situation. So if you're feeling like you're barely holding it together, just know it's not just you. And it is absolutely okay to feel that way. But here's the tricky part, because we're so used to juggling a million things at once as moms, we actually gaslight ourselves into thinking that we should be able to handle all of this as well. What the fuck? Like, why am I so drained? Other moms seem to be managing it, but let me tell you, they are not. We are all managing in different ways. And most of us are just barely holding on. The exhaustion isn't just from parenting, it's from constantly processing crisis after crisis while still trying to function. And let's talk about the guilt that comes with it. Because maybe you do have a moment where you're happy and you're laughing with your kids, and then bam, the thought creeps in. How can I even enjoy this moment when so many people are suffering? Or on the flip side, maybe you're struggling and then guilt shows up again. Other people have it worse. Why can't I just be grateful? It feels like a lose lose cycle, and it's emotionally exhausting. So, what do we fucking do with all of that? Well, first, we acknowledge it. Stop shaming ourselves for feeling too much or too little. We need to remind ourselves that we are human. And being human means carrying a lot at once. It means feeling joy and grief all in the same breath. It means allowing ourselves the space to feel everything without judging ourselves. We all need to be a little nicer to ourselves. Stop being such a mean girl to yourself. But here's where we take it a step further, because feeling all of this is valid, but we do not have to stay stuck in it. So you may ask, what do we do with all of these fucking emotions? How do we redirect them so they don't fucking consume us? One thing that I have found helpful is grounding myself in actionable steps, not in a big, overwhelming, fix the world steps, because let's be real, none of us have the capacity for that right now. Okay, maybe some of you do, and that's awesome. But if you don't, then it's small, intentional steps that bring some sense of control back into our hands. That might mean turning off the news for a few hours and getting outside. We are officially in spring now. And I know that everyone has a different spring experience depending on where you live. But if you do have the sun shining and some decent weather to go outside and touch some fucking grass. Because touching the earth, breathing in fresh air, does a whole lot more than you think it does. It also might mean journaling. It's not going to solve everything, but just to release the swirl of emotions in your head. Now, I personally am not one to write. I don't prefer to journal in a sense of writing things out, but I talk journal. I like to be vocal. I like to speak my thoughts out loud. So that can be a form of journaling also. So don't think just because I say journaling, you have to go get a notebook and start writing things down. You can write it down. You can get on your laptop and put it into your notes or your phone and do talk to text. You can vocalize it like I do. There are so many different ways to journal. It's not just a pen and paper. Another thing is channeling the frustration into something that's productive. Advocating for a cause, signing a petition, donating even a small amount to an organization that's doing good work, having important conversations in your own circle. And if you don't have that circle face to face, then find like minded people on social media. If you're on those platforms and can find those people, get in their comment section and start having a conversation with them. So you can feel like not all is lost. And even just checking in on another mom, validating her feelings, reminding her that she is not alone. Because those things really do matter. They shift us out of that powerlessness and into something tangible. Because when we move, when we act, even in the smallest of ways, we remind ourselves that we are not helpless. All right, let's talk about this completely ridiculous expectation that we are just supposed to keep going like nothing is fucking happening. Like I'm over here trying to meal plan, and then I remember, oh yeah, food prices are skyrocketing, and also half the Department of Education just got completely wiped out. But sure, let's go ahead and make that grocery list. Or better yet, those fun conversations that we get to navigate as moms, no matter what season of motherhood we're in. If you have little ones, then it could be the innocent questions like, Mommy, why is everything so expensive now? Or those impossible questions like, will the world still be here when I grow up? If your kids are older, maybe it's trying to explain why their future feels so uncertain, why college might not be affordable, or why so many adults seem to be arguing over things that really should be common sense. And if you're parenting grown kids, it's watching them step into this mess of a world and trying to offer wisdom when even we don't know what the fuck is going on and have the answers to. No matter where we are in the world, we are all navigating this constant tension, wanting to be honest with our kids, but also wanting to protect them from the heaviness of it all. How do we give them hope when we're struggling to find it ourselves? It's like we're living in two completely different realities. The one where we have to function as moms, and the one where we're screaming internally because everything feels like it's falling apart. But listen, showing up doesn't have to mean pretending. It means acknowledging the chaos while still doing what we can. And sometimes that just means getting through the day. But let's be real. Getting through the day sometimes feels like an Olympic sport because it's not just about feeding our kids, keeping them safe, and making sure they're brushing their teeth. It's about managing all the emotions that come with raising kids in a world that feels unstable. So, how do we reassure them when we don't even feel reassured ourselves? How do we keep them feeling secure when we're lying awake at night worrying about the future? And it's not just the big worries either, it's the small daily moments where the weight of it all can really sink in. Like when your kid asks for their favorite snack and you realize the price has doubled since last year, or when they come home from school talking about a lockdown drill and you just have to swallow the lump in your throat before saying, that's just in case, honey. It's a lot. And yet we have to keep going. We show up because we have to. We show up, but showing up doesn't mean putting on a brave face 24/7. It means finding ways to process our own stress so that we don't pass it all onto our kids. It means finding small moments of normalcy, of laughter, even when everything feels heavy. Because survival isn't just about making it through, it's about keeping our humanity intact while we do it. Okay, so let's talk about this helplessness that so many moms are feeling. Because I know a lot of you are feeling it. I'm feeling it too some days. And here's the thing, they want us to feel helpless. Because when we feel helpless, we stop trying. And that's not a fucking option. So let's reframe it this way. What can we do? Maybe it's starting small. One mom told me in my comment section that she bought a seed catalog and is planting a garden because even growing a few vegetables is something. Another mom is stocking up on essential medications when she can. And we're just keeping each other informed, supporting the people on the front lines and making sure we don't check out completely. And that in itself fucking matters. But what if you're in a place where even the smallest action feels impossible? What if you're stuck in that space of functional freeze where you're going through the motions, but inside you feel completely disconnected, exhausted, like you're watching your own life happen from a distance? If that's you, I see you. And let's get something straight. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are having a completely normal nervous system response to an overwhelming world. Survival mode is real. And if you've been in it for a long time, shifting out of it takes time, patience, and self compassion. You don't just get to click a button, as much as we would love for that to just be the case. So, how do we start moving forward even when we feel stuck? Well, first, we need to flip the script in our minds. Instead of thinking, "Ah, I should be doing more," let's shift it to what is one thing that I can do today that helps me feel even slightly more in control? It does not have to be world changing. It doesn't have to be visible to anybody else. It could be as small as drinking a glass of water, getting outside for 5 minutes, texting a friend, or choosing to disengage from negativity that drains you. Those small steps matter because they build momentum. And if your brain is telling you, none of this fucking makes a difference, here's the actual truth. That's the freeze response talking. That's the part of you that is exhausted, that's been carrying too much for too long. But here's what I want you to remember. You have already survived every hard thing that you thought you wouldn't. You have kept going, even when you didn't know how. And that means that you can move forward. You don't have to fix everything at once. I'm going to say that again. You don't have to fix everything at once. You just have to take the next right step for you. The key here isn't to do everything, it's to do something. Because when we shift from feeling powerless to taking even the smallest action, we remind ourselves that we do have agency. And that mindset shift is everything. Small actions look different for everyone, depending on our season of life and capacity. Maybe for you, it's having honest conversations with your kids about the world, making sure that they grow up informed and empowered. Maybe it's checking in on a mom friend who you know is struggling, reminding her that she is not alone. Maybe it's making sure you're registered to vote, staying informed on policies that affect your family's future. Or maybe it's simply stepping away from the doom scrolling long enough to take care of yourself. Put your fucking phone down because burnout helps no one. And let's definitely talk about community because that's another powerful action. Helplessness thrives in isolation. But when we connect, when we build those support systems, even in the smallest of ways, it reminds us that we are not alone in this. Maybe that means joining a local advocacy group, finding like minded online spaces, or even just committing to talking about these issues with the people around us. Because collective action starts with individual steps, and that is how we keep pushing forward. Hope is a hard thing to hold on to right now. I get it. Some days it really does feel fucking impossible. But here's what I want you to know: moms, women, caregivers, we have always been the ones to hold things together. And we don't have to look far for proof of that. Let's talk about the moms who have carried movements before us. Women like Shirley Chisholm, the first Black woman in Congress, who ran for president when the world told her she had no place in politics. Moms like Dolores Huerta, who fought for labor rights while raising her kids, and everyday women, the single moms, the caregivers, the teachers, who have always been the backbone of change. Their resilience should remind us that we are not powerless, and that even when it feels like we're screaming into the void, our voices still matter. Hope isn't about blind optimism. It's about choosing to believe that change is possible, even when we can't see it. It's about remembering that every major shift in history started with people who refused to accept that status quo. And so much of that change has been led by women, by moms, by the ones who had no choice but to keep going because the next generation depended on them. Think about the mothers in history who faced unimaginable odds but still pressed forward. The moms who fought for desegregation in schools, who marched for voting rights, who organized communities when nobody else would. The mothers who raised their voices against war, against oppression, against policies that threaten their children's futures. They didn't always see the results in their lifetime, but their work fucking mattered. And so does ours. And let's bring it closer to home. Hope isn't just found in history books. It is in the everyday moments of resistance and resilience we see around us. It is in the mom who advocates for her special needs child when the system is failing him. It's the friend who shows up with a meal when another mom is struggling. It's in the teachers fighting for better education, the nurses showing up despite exhaustion, the community members protecting each other when leadership won't. These small acts, they are hope in action. So when the weight of the world makes it feel impossible to hold on to that hope, let's redefine it. Hope doesn't mean we ignore reality. It means we acknowledge the struggle and still find reasons to keep pushing forward. Because if there's one thing in history that has taught us, it's that moms don't back the fuck down. We fight for our kids, we fight for our families for a better fucking world. And no matter how bleak things feel, that is something to hold on to. Buckle up, Buttercup, because I've got a pep talk for you. And know that this is not just for you. These words are also serves as a reminder for me as well. I know you're tired. I know this is hard. But listen, you are not fucking built to break. You are built to fucking rise, to keep going, to find a way forward, even when everything feels so fucking overwhelming. I see you showing up every day, holding it together for yourself, for your family, for your community. And even when it feels like you're failing, you are not. You are doing what you can with what you have, and that is enough. You do not have to fix everything at once. You do not have to have all the answers. You just have to take the next step, whatever that looks like for you. Resting is a step. Asking for help is a step. Speaking out is a step. Choosing to take care of yourself so you have strength to keep going, that is fucking powerful. So if you needed a sign to keep going, this is it. You are stronger than you think, and I am standing with you. I don't want this episode to just be something you listen and move on from. I want us to take real action together. So here's what I'm asking. This week, let's all commit to one action. This one. It could be signing a petition that aligns with your values, reaching out to a friend who needs support, sharing helpful resources, or even just taking 30 minutes to unplug and do something that recharges you, because we can't pour from an empty cup. Whatever it is, I want you to share it with me. DM me, email me, comment. Let's talk about it. Let's hold each other accountable for showing up in small, meaningful ways. Because change doesn't happen all at once. It happens when we consistently show up, even in the smallest ways. And together, our small actions add up to something bigger. All right, fellow mom friends. If you're feeling exhausted, lost, or just like you don't know how to keep going, I need you to hear this. You are not alone. Now, I don't have all the answers, but I do know this. We are stronger together. We can hold space for the fear while still moving forward. We can acknowledge the struggle without letting it consume us. And most importantly, we do not have to do this alone. So let's talk. What is weighing on you the most right now? What's one small thing you're doing to hold on to hope? Send me a message, leave a comment. Let's keep this conversation going because these conversations, they truly matter. And so do you. I know that right now it can feel like you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. That every time you catch your breath, another crisis hits, another worry piles on. And maybe you're wondering if you're doing enough, if you're handling it the right way, if you're making the right choices for your family. Let me remind you that you are showing up. You are doing the best you can with what you have, and that is enough. This is not about having all the answers. It's not about fixing everything overnight. It's about knowing that no matter how heavy things feel, you don't have to carry it alone. Whether you're in survival mode, whether you're taking action, whether you're just trying to make it through the day, your experience is valid and you have a place here. So if you're feeling stuck, let's take this one step at a time. Maybe today, the step is just acknowledging where you are. Maybe it's giving yourself grace. Maybe it's reaching out and saying, hey, I'm struggling. And if you're feeling ready, maybe it's taking one small action to remind yourself that you do have power, even in the smallest ways. I want this to be a space where we can have these conversations openly. No pretending, no perfection, just honesty, support, and figuring it out together. So tell me, what's been on your heart lately? What's been weighing on you the most? And what's one thing, one tiny manageable thing you can do today to take care of yourself, to stay connected, to hold on to hope? Because your voice matters, your experience matters, and you fucking matter.